Okay, let's talk cable sizing for supplying power to your jungle site. Your primary concern is voltage drop over the long distances to the two houses, and we need to ensure appliances function correctly. A voltage drop of 5 to 7% is generally considered noticeable. Some appliances are more sensitive than others, meaning they will react poorly to voltage dips. Now, you mentioned calculations using 00 copper cable showing an 8.7 volts drop at the furthest house, which is 7.3%. This exceeds the recommended voltage drop threshold. It's also important to understand how your electric company assesses voltage drop. The company might be assuming the return path is negligible. This can underestimate the overall voltage drop, so it's critical to consider the entire circuit length, the feed and the return. You also mentioned the idea of supplying each house from the centrally located utility building. This could increase the voltage drop due to the additional line length, but it might help equalize the voltage between the houses. A feasible solution is to run a 00 copper spine through the site, branching off to the houses and the utility building. This approach will result in slightly different supply voltages for each location, but it's often practical. For branch circuit sizing, consider the load requirements of each apartment and house. Common branch circuit sizes are number 12, number 10, and number 8 American wire gauge. To connect these branch circuits to the 00 spine, use tap connectors or junction boxes. Regarding the neutral line size, it doesn't necessarily have to be the same size as the hot wires. It can be smaller. A general rule is to use 1 to 2 American wire gauge sizes below the hots. In your case, you could reasonably consider a number 2 American wire gauge neutral line. Some additional considerations for your setup are to use underground direct burial cable rated for the voltage and the conditions. Ensure you install proper grounding and surge protection equipment. Keep the circuit lengths as short as possible to minimize voltage drop. Finally, think about using voltage regulators or transformers to compensate for voltage fluctuations, if needed. Remember that getting professional advice from a qualified electrician is critical to ensure compliance with local codes and regulations.